Hello, people of YouTube.
Hello.
I am American McGee.
I'm Martin.
I almost forgot how to do this. It's been so long. Who's that?
Who are you?
Are you Lulu?
Arr.
What are you looking for? Treats? Maybe cats. Don't say cats. All right. So very glad to have all of you back again for the first live stream we've done in, it's been almost a month, at least.
At least.
We do have to start off with a little bit of a warning that our VPN is under attack. Apparently this is a China-wide problem. The Great Firewall is getting some sort of massive upgrade, which is bad news for us. So we are on some sort of NordVPN software VPN thingy. We might be a good advertisement for this if it stays up throughout the entire stream.
The speed test we did was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to like streaming.
Well, we don't know yet. Whoa! That's
what?
Really fast super chats going on there.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Lulu, that's not
Truth
necessary.
Decay. Shishini.
Thank you very much, Truth Decay. We will put that towards VPN software and stuff.
And hardware.
Thank you. It's really nice to see Truth Decay and Stereo Visual and Jennifer Daw and all of our old friends in the chat there.
The gang's all here.
We did miss you all very, very much. Lulu missed you all very much as well because she wasn't getting any treats.
Oh, no.
while the super chats weren't coming in. Thank you also, Tom Resnick, for the $5 super chat and the welcome back. Speaking of Lulu, today we're going to be giving away some prizes. We are going to give away a Lulu patch along with a Pirate Jam notepad. How's it going to work today, Martin?
That's going to be the first 3 prizes we do, and I'm going to finish with a plush.
A plush, a white rabbit plush.
Plushy, whitey,
do you have a white rabbit plush somewhere to show off?
In that bag over there.
All right. Well, you guys all know what the plush looks like, but we
Grab
will
it
be
for
giving
later.
away a white rabbit plush at the end. But the first 3 prizes we'll give away are these nifty Pirate Jam waterproof notepads. This is actually mine, so it's a little bit beat up, but it's filled with all my notes. And we learned last year that these don't work very well when the paper gets wet. So we found a company that makes a more waterproof paper. So we'll be giving those away because Pirate Jam's coming up, and we're going to give away a Lulu embroidered patch with that.
Wow.
Wow, there you go.
A patch of you.
Yeah, so Pirate Jam, as many of you know, I was just off in Thailand for a month, and a large part of the time that I spent there was in planning and preparation for the upcoming Pirate Jam event. And I think, as all of you know, Pirate Jam is an annual game jam that I host in Thailand, and there is a website, pirate-jam.com. So if you are a game developer and you want to join us sometime, then you might go there, sign up, and maybe you will be among the lucky few who are selected, who are called into the service to answer the siren song of the sea.
Maybe. Scooch over.
Scooch over, Martin. Don't be shy.
There we go.
Thank you, Chaucette, for the $10. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Lulu.
We love you guys and missed you guys very much. So
Treat money.
all the treat money is very much appreciated. So yeah, while I was gone, there was a bunch of sailing that got done, sailing around. And I was doing location scouting, kind of like a second go-round, to places like this. This is called Koh Chang Lat. This is in Phang Nga Bay in Thailand. This will be the second stop during Pirate Jam. And so I was going to these places, and I was just double confirming that the route works. Do you say route or route?
I would say route.
This always comes up. I get told by my British friends that it's not route, it's route.
I'd say route.
Yeah. Well, so I was checking the route, and this is what you saw at the start, the video. The sun setting over the western peak of this island, which this is called Koh Chang Lat. And yeah, so this is one of the stops, and you can see there's another sailboat parked in there. This will be one of the places where we take our fleet of 6 sailboats and we park for, actually we'll be in here for 2 days, giving our pirates an opportunity to focus on the games that they're developing and also on things like sea kayaking and swimming and fishing and just taking in the scenery. This was leaving that location and sailing to what will be the 3rd location we go to, which is on not an island, but the mainland down here near a place called Ao Nang. And this is sailing past a thing called Kohong. Anyway, so this trip, I basically went from spot to spot, checking out the beaches, making sure there was going to be space for our beach games, making sure that the anchorages were comfortable, and making sure of all the distances and times that separate the various locations.
Okay. Bats and Tombstones Super Chats. I
like
recognize
that.
that name.
I like that name. That
Yeah.
reminds me of that old video game. What was that?
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghouls and Ghosts.
That was a good game.
Yes, thank you for the Super Chat. It's pirate treasure. It's not dollars, it's treasure.
I like getting pirate treasure from someone called Bats and Tombstones. That feels very appropriate. But yeah, this whole...
I was going to ask, do you have the theme for Pirate Jam this year yet?
Well, even if I did, we don't give that away.
We don't. I was just curious if you have it in mind.
I have an idea in mind. Yeah.
All right.
So Martin's asking, whenever you have a game jam, at some point at the beginning of the jam, you announce the theme for all the games that will be made during the jam. And so that's actually, if you look at the planning document that I've had to put together for this, which, by the way, planning an event like this takes a lot of effort, I have to say. But if you look here in the planning document, you will see that at 1 p.m. on March 29th, we actually announce the theme. And I do have a couple of ideas in mind for the theme, but I'm not going to announce those until the point here, because if we announce them, it would... Well,
People
it would give
start
everybody,
prepping.
yeah.
Should do a fake announcement.
Nah, it's not nice. But as you can see here, we've got the days laid out, the locations. This is the kickoff location at Yacht Haven on Phuket. And so I have to put together, this is a more detailed version of the documentation that's given to the guys, the skippers who are driving the other boats in the event. But it does a breakdown, a schedule for each day, and there's anchorages, and there's GPS coordinates, and there's all kinds of additional notes about what the skippers should do and be prepared for. And then this goes on day by day. Day 2, where we're going, how we're getting there, the route, the time that it'll take to get there, the GPS coordinates of the location at the end of the day, and additional notes, and so forth. So this goes on. So this was what I was out there sort of putting all the fine details to on this last trip, so that there are no questions about where we're going, what we're doing, and what we should expect while we're out there.
It's very thorough.
It's pretty thorough. I actually was getting some compliments from other people out there who plan these kind of events, saying, yeah, you definitely put a lot of detail into your planning. But it's one of the reasons I do this is because I'm actually more than a little bit nervous. We have 20 guests coming from around the world, who many of them have never been on sailboats before. Many of them have never been to Thailand before. So there's already a degree of nervousness. Unfortunately, this is especially the case when you talk to some of the women who are coming to the event. They're being invited by friends, but they have their friends and family saying to them, "What, are you crazy? You're going to Thailand to be on a boat, host an event hosted by some guy you've never met before." It's a concern, right? So we have to make sure to cross all the T's and dot all the I's. And our VPN apparently just died. Yeah, it's coming back. It's up and down.
Yeah, it's
now
up
it's
and
gone
down.
to 0.
Bear with us.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It will come back. It's a kind of up and down thing. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I've been working on Pirate Jam. And I really appreciate everybody's patience while I was gone. It is, I think, an unusual thing to see someone vanish for a month.
You were gone for ages.
I was gone for ages. Martin missed me.
I did.
Lulu missed me. And I'm sure everybody here might have missed me a little bit as well.
Just a little.
Yeah. So, looks like our buffering is going on here.
All we can do is continue through it. Unless it gets so bad that it dies.
Looks pretty sad. Other people saying no problem. Some people saying that it's not great. But what are you going to do? Now it's back to normal, it looks like. Right. So we have other stuff going on. While I was gone, you were making some progress on things with Out of the Woods. Is that not the case?
I was doing a few things while you were away. A little bit of Out of the Woods stuff, a little bit of Backer Kit Patreon stuff. But we can go through Out of the Woods now. We're pretty much done with Out of the Woods. Most, if not all, of the support tickets have dried up now. As a Kickstarter project, I think it's done.
Right.
So yay for that.
That's good.
But that doesn't mean we're not still tinkering with the project. And recently we fired up the email again with our production partners to see about actually getting it into retail around the world. They seem very keen on the idea. So yeah, that is going to be taking off very shortly. We need to do some good high-res pictures to send them and just a bit of marketing fluff. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get this into shops around the world.
Well, it doesn't hurt that the game has been selling quite well. Not only were there quite a few thousand of them sold via the Kickstarter, but then since the Kickstarter ended and we shipped the rewards, there's been tons more selling via Mysterious and the pre-order shop. So I think that retailers or the retail partners we're talking to see that and think, hey, this thing might do okay.
It might do.
Might do.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's been good to see some progress on Out of the Woods and getting Out of the Woods into retail.
It has had a lot of positive comments over on the Kickstarter page.
It has. There's been a few negative comments too, though.
One or two.
My favorite is the one, the guy that keeps coming back, and
Let's not name names.
I'm not going to name
comments.
a name. Oh, come on. I'm not really sure what his problem is, but he'll say this is the most bad support I have ever seen. And then you'll ask him, well, what's wrong? How can we help you? And he never really comes back with anything. No. It's strange because, we have a bunch of comments here. We respond to every single comment, and we see...
Maybe not every single comment, but definitely every single PM.
Every question we talk to, and every PM as well.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody that comments is happy. They got their stuff. And so... I don't understand this guy, but it's let's do point out that everyone's happy except apparently for him.
And we're still happy to help him if he gets back to us.
Still happy to help him. I just don't understand.
Get back to us.
Yeah, let us know. What's the problem? Very strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's been going on. I think Out of the Woods has done quite well. And of course, while I was gone, there was still quite a lot of work getting done on Alice Asylum. Joey spent some effort on cleaning up these these images. These were for the tarot cards that she's working on. And I think a lot of people are very excited about this, not just, from an art perspective, but to have a product, a tarot collection. It seems that the comments on this have been really positive.
Pretty much entirely positive. There's only, to my mind, one potential negative. Hey, what's Lulu doing? Stop it.
She's trying to pull my microphone out of its wire, out of its holder.
What was the negative?
Someone was concerned that it had something to do with the devil.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's been 99% positive. People are very happy for this to be a thing. They would like it to happen.
I mean, one of the negatives actually came from my own mother, who I think emailed me separately and said, "Dear son, I'm very proud of all the things you're doing, and life looks like it's going well. But I do want to warn that you should not dabble in the dark arts." And I think she sort of suggested that tarot cards are a gateway to, I don't know, full-on satanic worship and goat sacrifice.
So tarot cards into
Ouija boards,
into cults.
Something. I'm not really sure. Well, but that's the other thing, is because I had put up this sort of cult of the white rabbit. I don't know if we've got that sticker, the embroidered patch around here, but we sort of did a joking cult thing for our insane children and for the follow the white rabbit. There it is. So that you put it on put that on the down cam. Ooh, look at that fancy down cam action. Yeah, so that's our cult of the white rabbit sticker and or patch. And I think she saw that and she saw the tarot cards and she decided you're You're a wizard, Harry.
Wizard Harry.
I don't know. she got a little concerned, which I think is funny because my mom and my family, historically, it's not unusual that they would have these sort of new agey crystal things around, you know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyway, so Joey did clean up these images, which we have shown before, but I think she's added a little detail and made them a little cleaner.
I wonder if she's putting them into the right format. I told her the
For the
actual
posters.
dimensions for the cards.
Oh, right, for the cards.
Large size cards have to be 2.75 by 4.75 or something.
Yeah, we'll have to ask her that.
She said she was going to do it.
Right. Truth Decay. What's Truth Decay say there, Martin?
What are they saying? My mother thought Mario was a demonic influence when I was a kid. Hence, no Nintendo. Mothers be crazy. I didn't get to serious devil worship until my adulthood.
Well,
you know, they're protective.
Glad to hear that, Truth Decay. My mom sat me down one day and wanted to know whether or not I was contemplating suicide and if I needed some sort of help. And when I expressed dismay and confusion, she produced a handwritten page that I had created, and it was the lyrics to Imagine by John Lennon. So, you know, imagine a world, you know, no religion. And apparently she'd forgotten that she must have listened to this when she was a youngin', and she didn't catch on that these are the lyrics to a song. So, yeah, I think that, you know, moms can be confused sometimes.
Apparently so.
Apparently, Jennifer's mom thought succubus was a sexual innuendo.
That.
Well, I mean, it is.
It does sound a little.
Demonic sex demon. It sounds a bit like not innuendo, just straight up demonic sex demon. Ah, boy. So, Joey. Let's get back to Joey. She's done what she admits are fairly derivative of some of the enemies that we had in Madness Returns. Of course, in Madness Returns, what we had were these sort of little goblin teapot goblin guys who were wearing and carrying the tea service as armor and whatnot.
Right.
But she's done this up as just straight up enemies that are sort of doll parts combined with tea service. So as a Brit and probably an expert on drinking tea, how do these strike you?
Very nice. Although we didn't really use fine china for drinking tea back home.
No?
Just use any old cup, as long as it's got tea in it.
Was it dirty like this?
No.
No.
We're not that bad.
Yeah, I think these are pretty cute. I can imagine, again, going into an area within the Hatter's domain where we might encounter these guys, though. I think we'll want to come up with, and maybe there is a sort of prehistory to these that makes sense, how these somehow evolved into the little Hatter goblins that we saw in Madness Returns, because there needs to be a sort of evolutionary arc
Right.
between this and then what we finally encounter. But I think these would be quite fun. And I mean, just from a perspective of attacking these and having them break and shatter into lots of pieces.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Right.
I like to see deformable enemies.
Yeah. So she continues on in the theme. I think this marriage of doll parts and tea service are kind of interesting. That's definitely something new. And again, it's going to need a bit of a narrative support
As to why it exists.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously we've seen the tea stuff in the previous games. We've seen the doll stuff in the previous games, but smashing together the tea stuff with the doll stuff is a little bit new. But I think it could be interesting, though. And obviously this stuff would come from the Hatter's domain. So whatever he's currently working on in Asylum needs to sort of support that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Inquisitive Vox. Super chats. Thank you for that. Please tell me you will at least have the major Arcana tarot cards for sale. Would buy in a heartbeat.
Well, we're still working on the planning for the tarot cards, but I think what we envision is the major and minor and just a full set. And I think one of the other questions is, are we doing a large format, not I can't remember how this is described. Is it the French tarot? There's a variation on tarot cards that can also be used as traditional playing cards, plus they include the major minor. So I think we might go that route.
Didn't we say we wouldn't? Because having all that extra fluff on the card, like numbers and stuff.
Well, we need to work that out.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think this was a bit of a debate as to whether or not these tarot cards are just straight up tarot cards, or we might do a variation of them, or do them in a style where they could also double as playing cards. So me personally, I'd like to have them also work as playing cards, but I think a lot of the tarot card purists out there would prefer that we just have them be tarot cards and nothing else. This will be one of those things we'll have to put up for an impossible to manipulate survey.
Okay.
I'm getting tired of these surveys. It's very clear, and you know who you are, but someone or some group of someone's out there is manipulating our survey results, and we're on to you. So yeah, we'll have to figure out how we decide.
Speaking of tarot, before we go back to art review, I did see the question earlier whether it would be a Patron reward, or they didn't specifically say it, or a Kickstarter.
You mean this from Hannah Michelle? Would you consider that for a Patreon reward?
I saw it a couple of times, but yeah.
Well, she might have posted it multiple times. That is the way that if you don't want to do a super chat, you just post the same thing over and over again in the hopes that we'll take pity and answer your question. Anyway, so yes, Hannah Michelle, we will take pity. I don't know yet how we picture the development and or release of the tarot cards. I can say we have a few options open to us. We might just do a straight up Kickstarter. It might be something we do through Patreon, and it might be something that's just a retail product that doesn't require any sort of crowdfunding. I guess I'd be curious to hear what you in the audience would like. What's your preference? I do know that for us, using Patreon as a sort of gateway to selling of physical retail products is a big pain in the butt.
It can be, especially if we do custom pledge amounts.
Yeah.
Which I really don't want to ever do again.
Yeah, it's a big pain in the butt. And we got invited into some sort of Patreon community forum, and I've started presenting to them the success that we've had with Patreon, but also suggesting ways in which we've been frustrated and how they might improve that. They do seem to be listening. They have pointed out that there is some sort of Patreon rewards tab. There's some sort of setup where we can actually just do like a one-time, one-off physical thing. Problem is, it's a beta thing, and I've not seen it in our tabs, so maybe we just don't have access to it yet. Anyway, answer your question, don't know yet.
I'd quite like to do another Kickstarter, weirdly.
Yeah.
The sort of the enjoyment of putting it all together.
Kickstarter is fun.
It's proper nervous when
really
you launch
stressful.
it and you see the pledges go into that trough.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's quite rewarding as well.
I think one of the other things we're concerned about when it comes to tarot cards is that the purists may come at us and say, hey, this is a cash grab, or, this is, you guys aren't proper Satanists, and you haven't sacrificed enough goats, therefore you're not really allowed to play with our magical Satan stuff. And we have had this comment come to us a few times. Again, it's one of these things we'll have to look to the community. Maybe there's a few of you out there that can kind of guide us into the satanic cult of tarot card people.
Well, there are, aren't they? We talked about this on Discord. We do have a little tarot gang.
We do.
So as long as we, chat to those guys.
I think we have to sacrifice goats to them.
Do we?
Yeah, I think so. Ray Weatherford is back with a super chat. Thank you very much, Ray, for your ongoing and very kind support. And he says, greetings and welcome back to the digital realm. Good to have both of you back. Well, thank you, Ray. Thank you very, very much. Much love to all of you, not just those of you throwing super chats, but lots of love from Lulu to those of you throwing super chats, because those do help us to buy Lulu treats.
And we have another super chat from Syra Jabbar. Thank you for that. Hi, big fan here. Please share if a movie will be made because it will be huge. Thanks.
Well, I think we've talked about before the fact that the Alice rights are separated. There's game rights and there's film rights. And the thing we're primarily focused on right now are the game rights. We have tried to mess around with the film rights in the past. We did try to get a film going. I'll just keep it short and sweet. It's complicated, but I do think that going down the path we're currently on, some of the potential financiers and publishers, we are trying to line ourselves up to be in a position to do a game, merchandise, and some sort of film and television adaptation. So we are going to try to bring everything back together again. That's a big part of the effort we're making right now. So we'll get to some of that a little bit later in the stream.
Okay.
All right. This is more of Joey's design for the cups. Cup A, Cup C, Cup B.
French cups.
Oh man, then they really they're very confused. Do the French drink tea?
Yeah. I think I remember my friend telling me a story. He went on a camping trip and their very kind French family offered him some tea. And when he said he wanted milk and sugar in it, they kind of looked at him with like, are you insane? You know, what the hell are you doing, you crazy Brit?
That's funny.
So they do, but maybe not the same as us.
Oh, that's how the Chinese would look at you too. They don't think it's right to put milk and sugar in their traditional tea. Of course, there's all kinds of tea shops around now that put all kinds of crazy crap, including balls. You can get balls in your tea.
I do like balls in my tea.
This is something I think you should keep to yourself, Martin.
But you need milk and sugar if you're going to do biscuit dunking.
This is true. This biscuit dunking and balls in your tea is starting to sound like a euphemism for something. Okay, Martin, I think you need to get back on Grindr. This is YouTube. Okay. So this is a tack for the teapots, and I think that our artists are having a lot of fun in the sort of stylization, the emoting of Alice in these. I like Joey seems to have got into Omri's style of. Yeah.
No, I saw the super chat. I was waiting for you to finish. But Priscilla Nosoma, thank you for the super chat. I just want to say that I'm a witch and I have zero problems with you making a tarot deck. In fact, I really want you to make one. We can have that on the
endorsed
packet.
By an actual
by witch.
Yeah.
So nobody can complain.
Can we get like a proper coven together though, and that way it's endorsed by a group of witches? What do you think?
Maybe
that would be a good idea.
I don't know, but thank you for the thumbs up,
thank
Priscilla.
You.
Thank you.
And don't cast spells on us.
Please don't.
No. Life is difficult enough as it is. Pooh says this.
Pooh,
teapot.
Jump. That's what I say every time I jump.
The heavy attack. This looks a little too happy for something that's trying to murder you.
But that's the sinisterness of it, I think.
It says tick.
What's Alice saying?
She's saying almost, as in,
oh,
ha, 'tis but a flesh wound. Yeah, so I think
read that from over here.
I think I'm a little teapot, short and stout, and I'm gonna blow you up with whatever it is I'm barfing out of my mouth here. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, Joey has sent along all this beautiful artwork.
Really is. I do love her stuff.
Now, see, I wasn't that big a fan of these sort of interpretations of the doll faces smashed together with the teapots until I saw this image. And then not only was I a fan, but I now want to own this and have this in my house somewhere.
Right.
Because that's fantastic.
I think it needs more than 2 feet, though. You're going to have it as a physical item.
Yeah, if it's a physical item. But I can imagine that for her rendering here, she was just trying to keep it neat and clean. This is great, though. And I do feel like as a physical product or as an enemy in the game, this would go over very well. And so I think more of this, Joey. Have a hot tea shower. Oh, boy.
Oh, I love Joey.
It's just there's all kinds of levels of wrong going in here. The wiggling of the feet, though, it's a sort of joyous spouting of tea.
I'm trying to imagine what voice it might say that in.
I don't know, but again,
get Roger to come up with something.
Yeah, we need to get Roger back on the stream to do some impromptu voicing for some of these enemies. Again, it wasn't doing it for me until I saw this, and then the moment that I saw it sort of really realized and rendered, I was in love.
Bats and Tombstones super chats with a very good suggestion, actually. Thank you for that. There needs to be a tarot channel in Discord. Simple ideas are sometimes the best.
Alrighty.
They are also a witch, but will only cast good spells on us.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think my mom is going to approve of the fact that we've got all these witches, and she may have been right, Martin. This may be a portal or a gateway
we opened
into
the door.
Yeah.
To witchy nonsense.
That might be what that hole in the floor with the smoke and the screams coming out of it is. Have you
wondered what that was?
I was thinking that was just bad plumbing or something, but now I'm starting to think that this
talk of tarot.
Yeah. We are in the basement. Do you think we're on top of like an ancient Indian burial ground here in China?
Possibly.
Could be.
You don't like it down here, do you?
I
night
don't.
When the lights are off.
It's fucking creepy. I don't like it at all. It's horrible.
If I forget something down here and I have to come down and get it when all the lights are off,
no, it's terrible.
I'm not a fan.
I find myself like whistling and humming and trying to and once I've
do
turned
you put
all
your hand around the corner to turn the light switch on before you come into the room?
I don't like it at all. I come down and then Yin will yell. It's like she's been doing this quite a bit since I came home. She doesn't understand. She goes, "Why do you keep leaving the light on down there?" And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's just electricity. It's not like it's my soul and I'm going to get dragged off by demons. And so she's getting cranky with me. And I'm thinking, I don't really want to go down there and turn that light off. Why don't you go do it? And of course, she now she has an excuse not to do it.
Yes, pregnant wife.
Hey,
you go into the basement.
you just gave it away, Martin.
They saw the Instagram.
Yeah, not all of them saw the Instagram.
Well, we might as well talk about it now then.
Well, now you've let the cat out of the bag, the baby out of the belly.
Oven,
the bun out of the oven. All right. What's Priscilla got going on there?
Super chat. Thank you, Priscilla. I want to pour my everyday tea with this. You guys need to make it a real tea set.
It's pretty extreme.
Who made the teapot cannon last time? Is that still a thing that could?
Yeah, it got made. I don't have one here, do I? I thought I brought one with me, but I don't have one here. But yeah, Priscilla, we did make an actual teapot cannon before, so we will come back to making one again. See what you've done there, Martin. Now they're all going congrats in the chat.
Oh, damn it. They're giving congrats.
Yeah. Well, I posted it up on my Instagram. I mentioned it was kind of oblique, though. And now there's 2 posts up there that relate to this. And so the first one you can see here.
I thought that one.
A lot of people are confused. They don't know what's going on.
I thought, is that like somebody's back pocket? Is that... I was like, what is that?
Well, also, one of the funny things is that it's in the sort of classic Alice blue and white, right? So I thought that was kind of funny because I wasn't sure who was going to get whether or not this was an Alice cosplay or what was happening. But obviously, this is Yin's baby bump, and we have been referring to the baby as Lily. And that's probably because we have a dog named Lulu. Sorry, kid. This is going to be... Why did you guys name me that? Well, there was this dog.
I'm kind of disappointed that you're not going to name it Chinese.
Chinese McGee?
Chinese McGee.
Yeah. I don't know about... Maybe that'll be a nickname.
Perhaps.
So Lucas says, is it a pentagram or a chaos symbol that's appearing over in the corner? I'm not going to look. I don't want to look behind this. I'm scared too. Yeah, so this was the first image I popped up to kind of make the unofficial announcement. And then this morning before we did the live stream, I did this one. It's Lily, but what about Lulu? She looks so sad. She knows.
Does she?
Oh, she definitely knows. She's kind of got a different attitude around Yin these days. So
okay.
Yeah.
Beasts are so wise.
Yeah, she's pretty smart. Alrighty, so back to art review. What do we have? This is more of Joey. Now, this was actually what she's sharing in terms of what's coming next. Because what I've talked to her about is we need to get more imagery of the actual areas in the game. And so one of the things that she's going to do is she's shared a bunch of ideas she's working on based on the outline we've done so far. Like, so one of them is this ghost house. It's like on a rail. And it's moving through an area that obviously would be inside of the circus, sort of the circus land. And this is more of the circus area. This is sort of the amusement park that you would find in the denial stage. And so she's done up a couple of scenes here that she's thinking about doing full color renderings of.
Uh-oh, a slide.
Huh?
Slides.
Oh yeah, the slides are terrible. Maybe we won't do slides again.
Prince Hatter, thank you for the super chat. The only witch I know who used tarot cards was Raven from Twisted Metal Black.
Oh yeah, I liked that game quite a lot. And was that Jaffe? Yeah, it's David Jaffe designed that game. Same guy who did God of War. Crouton of.
Can you scroll back a bit? I have a feeling we might have missed one. We did that one.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Just double checking.
All right. I'm sorry for multiple messages. Didn't know if it would go through. I love all that both of you do for your fans. Well, thank you. We love you for being a fan.
Yeah.
Congrats, by the way. Love from Ohio. Oh, I like people from Ohio. My best friend Chris was from Ohio, and then I moved away from the United States, and now we don't talk anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. So, I like the slides, says Rachel Garza. You're the only one
in the world,
in the entire world, who liked the slides. I was not a fan. Martin was not a fan. Lulu was not a fan. So here's a carousel, and she's riding on a rabbit.
Flying carousel.
That's pretty cool. And a cup maze. I get the feeling that Joey may have gone to Shanghai Disneyland recently. What do you think?
Possibly.
Joey, have you been to Disneyland?
Is that the last one? Botanical Room.
It is a botanical room.
Right.
It looks like we're growing.
It's a massive duck in the air.
It is a big duck. And it's a bear with a marijuana plant growing out of its head.
It's like the Goose Island duck that got stole from Wonderland.
And there is a one of those Russian dolls in the background there. Yeah. Well, anyway, so this looks pretty good. We need to help Joey decide which one to do up next. So if you have any ideas,
she should focus on tarots. Don't know.
I don't know. Let's get a little bit of the opinion from you guys in the chat and down in the comments, and of course over on Patreon. I'll post this up, and I just realized we need to do a contest.
Wow.
So let's get from you in the comments. Spam the chats with from where did your name come? Were you named after a dog?
From whence did thy name arrive?
Do you know where your name came from? Why were you named Martin?
I don't, actually.
That's lame.
Maybe they just liked the name.
Come on, how can you not know where your name came from?
I don't know. Not every name needs to have some sort of special meaning.
Well, spam up the chat with if you know where your name came from. Mine came from drugs. I could just write drugs in the chat and I'd be good to go.
All right.
Now, if you write that your name came from spam, that's basically code for drugs. So Craig Spurlock, your parents named you Craig because of drugs. I understand. See, my name is from my dad's boss, says Insomniac.
My name's from Nigeria.
My grandmother.
I don't know. Greek.
Blade was named after Elvis. That's great. Yeah. So my name, my mom has given me, and my family has given me multiple conflicting versions of the story.
Ooh.
But I think many people know that my mom also said that she might name me Obnard, which is why if you go to YouTube/users/Obnard, that's the name of my YouTube channel, the unofficial name. And so, she said that or Marrakesh. 3 options.
Marrakesh or Marrakesh?
No, Marrakesh.
Right.
Just as in the place that is in Morocco, I believe.
Marrakesh McGee.
Yeah. So this contest, we are going to give away, as we mentioned previously, a Pirate Jam focus. Come on, focus. A Pirate Jam notepad. Bzz, 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 and a Lulu embroidered patch. These are rare. People want Lulu embroidered patches.
Worth
I actually have
currency.
I actually have people in Thailand who I don't even know how they know about Lulu embroidered patches who are telling me, hey, when you come back, will you bring us some Lulu embroidered patches? It's very strange. Huh. Very, very strange.
All right.
All right. You ready?
Let's roll Nightbot.
Here we go. 3, 2, Lacey.
Lacey.
With a little heart there. Okay, so Lacey, the thing is you need to send an email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com. Be sure to include your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and the fact that you've won a Lulu embroidered patch and a Pirate Jam notepad. And if you make any part of that difficult for us, we will not send you your prize. So please, please do that in a format which is easy for us to copy and paste into the system and send your stuff to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Lacey. And congratulations on winning a notepad and a Lulu patch, Lacey.
And Lacey's first name is from their grandfather.
So your grandfather's name was Lacey. Okay. Well, Yen and I have talked about this. What's going to happen if this baby, which we don't know whether it's a boy or girl because it's China and you're not allowed to know, if it comes out a boy and we've been calling it Lily,
right?
Then what's going to happen? Is it just going to be a boy named Lily?
What could you alter that into?
Lyle. William, which would be Willie.
Lee.
Eli. Yesterday we were saying Eli. Yeah. So here's more art from Joey. These are the paper doll. There's a bit of conversation on these. It's really strange.
They're an odd thing, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I never encountered paper doll type things, so I don't really understand the appeal of them. I don't get them.
Right.
But you can see comments from people who go mental for them.
There's people who go mental, but there's also a few people who say, I'm really not interested in these.
It's
very strange.
It is divisive.
Divisive
is what I'm trying to say.
Perhaps, yeah.
With my words.
Yeah. Oh, look, they're coming up with boy names. Liam is a good one. I actually liked Liam, and Liam sounds, because I'm Scot-Irish or whatever that is, Lucifer. My mom would be like, okay, this isn't even funny anymore. For sure, you're playing with the devil. Luca is good. I have a friend who they named their child Luca.
Liam ending with an M and then starting with an M.
Liam McGee. It rolls. It's okay. What do you guys think? Does Liam work? I like Liam, actually. Because, I mean, Liam Neeson he's, I know where you live. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, it's true.
He's great. And, I mean, who doesn't want to be named after Liam Neeson? He's even a Jedi. Come on. So, yeah, I think Liam is okay. Elon. Eli is okay. And, again, I think, Eli comes from the Bible, and that book of Eli, is that book of Eli? That was the Denzel Washington where he's blind. Yeah. So that's an okay one.
I don't think he was
blind.
But
yeah, he was. That was the whole point of
At the beginning of the movie, he wasn't, was he? Did he get blinded later in the movie?
The whole point of the entire movie, the reveal, sorry, spoiler warning.
Yeah, spoiler.
Book of Eli is that throughout the entire film, he was blind all the time.
No, the spoiler was that the book was a Braille version of the Bible.
Because he's blind all the time.
He was not blind.
Okay, chat, help us clear this up. Throughout the entire film, from the moment that we meet Denzel Washington until the big reveal, was he or was he not blind the entire time?
I'm telling you, he wasn't.
The answer is yes. So Liam McGee sounds good. See, everybody likes Liam.
Yeah,
so if it comes out a girl, yes, if it comes out a girl, we'll name her Liam. And if it's a boy, we'll name him Lily. And then they'll both be like, what the F?
Lucifer. On Elm Street.
He was blind, says. Yes, he was, says Stephanie.
Not.
Oh boy. How much should we bet?
£1 million.
Okay, you're going to watch it here right now. Martin and I are going to bet £1 million that he was blind the entire time.
Jennifer says not blind. These people are getting confused. The book was Braille, but he was not blind.
He is blind the entire time. Oh, boy. Okay, let's go back to art review.
Google it after the stream.
Okay. Well, you owe me £1 million.
Well, we'll see.
All right. So here's more of these paper cutout dolls that are divisive. And we have to decide whether or not we make these. I think these could become a mini Patreon goal.
Yeah, I think these would make a good mini goal.
Like, they're just little bookmarks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'd be nice if you had them. Some of them as like paper doll things. Maybe even some of them as stickers. I don't know if that would work.
Someone said stickers, and I thought that was a pretty good idea. Or like fridge magnets. Who doesn't like a fridge magnet?
Don't know. Not heard anyone say they don't like fridge magnets.
I think that would be all right. You're still thinking about whether or not Denzel Washington was blind.
He was not blind.
Yes, he was. Okay. So here's more paper doll Alice. Do not cut out space between arm and body. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So would they come pre-cut, or would they come on a sheet and you have to be very careful and cut them out?
No, we would send them out cut. I'd want these to be laser cut or otherwise, cut in some very clean and proper way. And you'd get them, just like we send out the patches, you would get them, done, and you'd probably push them out of the paper. It wouldn't be completely removed from the cardboard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you bend these little tabs around the base model, which is this one. I don't know. We'll see. For those of you who are not big fans, don't worry. We're just kind of playing around here. We haven't really decided on this one way or another. But I think if you moved away from the paper doll idea, just having these as cut out, done up quite nicely, and either as magnets or bookmarks or whatnot, that could be quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this before, but I quite like this sassy pose. I don't know if it suits her, but it's a really good picture.
It's not been my favorite. I mean, I don't mind it when she's got clothes on. I as I mentioned before, I'm just not a fan of it when she's not completely dressed, because I feel like it's inappropriate for the type of game and the type of character that we're making. But anyway, yeah. So have the chats decided anything here?
Well, there's a few more comments here. Somebody said he was blind before the war and then got his sight back until he completed his task. We're gonna have to Google this.
That's confusing. You know that the guy who wrote this is a friend of mine in San Francisco. He used to be the editor of PC Gamer, Gary Whitta, and then he went on to write on Star Wars. He was on the not crappy side version, the Rogue One. He was on Rogue One, yeah. So anyway, good stuff, and he's apparently working on some new stuff as well. I could just ask Gary because I'm friends with him, and then that'd be like in your face. The guy who wrote it says this. How about that?
But we're talking about the movie. A movie's changed.
He worked on the movie too. Okay, so Alice in Elm Street sends a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I have used these magnetic paper dolls and had a little magnetic board with different scenes on it. That could be cool. Yeah, I like that idea as well. That could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that sparked a memory in me. Maybe I remember having some like little magnet-y stuff as a kid. Can't remember what it was though.
Ye oldie magnety stuff.
Oldie memories.
So continuing on art review, we have, by the way, subscribe to PewDiePie. Meme review must survive. Don't let T-Series win. So art review. This is every time I read this, clearly my the Fleshticle night. Now, when I wrote this up on Patreon, I did make reference to his porn industry cousin, and that he should not be confused with the porn industry cousin, the Fleshticle Knight. I wonder if...
Oh, dear.
Oh, boy. Anyway, so this is a design from our good friend Alex Crowley. This is actually a continuation or a variation on the theme that he did for the Mimic chest. So we had the idea that you could pick up health or treats of some sort from that Mimic chest. And so like this was kind of what that looked like. And now he's taken this to a whole new level where you'd walk up on this and think, hey, yeah, it's got some cake and goodies in it. But instead, this fleshlight pops out. I'm sorry, Flesh Knight.
Yes, get it right.
But he's also done up a bit of thinking on how this thing not only attacks, but how it might be defeated. What did you think of that?
So, based on these images, you run around a bit, you get his fleshticles wrapped around some columns, and then when his fleshticles are fully stretched, you can chop them.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I like it.
No.
It's better than just squaring off against an enemy. A little bit of thought.
So I wonder. I mean, if we could find a factory that could, like the factory that makes fleshlights, but have them do a variation on a fleshlight that looks like this.
There we go. Demonetized.
No. Sorry. I think you can say fleshlight without being demonetized. We went one time to the adult products show in China, and it was pretty insane. And of course, they had they look like a can of Coke, but it's actually like a fleshlight. It was like a whole booth full of these fake Coke cans that in fact were for other purposes when you opened them up.
But when you're traveling and you just can't wait.
It was disgusting. I mean, I don't trying to be sex negative. I mean, sex is fine, and if you want to have sex with a Coke can, at least have it be soft on the inside. But I was just thinking, this could maybe go into sort of the goth S&M sex scene. This seems like something that people would shove places. I don't know.
Oh dear!
Oh,
look, a super chat.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Alice on Elm Street changes the subject slightly. Maybe shattering the red gems is how you would defeat it.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe you chop the fleshticles and then you get to smash the red gems. Multi-layered. Yeah.
I mean, as I wrote, this reminded me a bit of the combat arenas just because of these columns in the new Zelda game, which I've just spaced the actual name of. But anyway, because they had these challenge rooms and they always had these columns and you had to dodge and fight around the columns.
Right.
And I quite liked those. And I think someone said, well, don't do that because it'll become annoying or tedious that you have to do it all the time. But it might be the kind of thing that we only do in some limited areas. So this might be an enemy that you don't encounter that kind of behavior from unless you're in that sort of an area. And we have talked about doing essentially puzzle rooms that are separate from the primary gameplay in that style. So this could be a character that you find in those kind of areas.
Yeah.
Anyway, this also, I think, just from a merchandise perspective or physical goods perspective, this would be quite a cool thing for us to make. We'll put a warning on the box. Don't stick it places. Yeah. And so there you go. Yes, Alice, on Elm Street, we could maybe shatter the red gems. All right.
That's Ashley H. Thank you for the super chat. Maybe an Alice writing journal, like a regular writing journal decked out in Alice Asylum illustrations. Perhaps the pages look splattered and burned.
That's a cool idea. As we obviously just showed, we did get these Pirate Jam, these notepads done. And sometimes I'm surprised with like the stuff that we make, because I never would think like, oh yeah, let's make notepads, and yet we do make notepads, and then people really like them, and so maybe something like that would make sense, because it's not that hard to make notepads. We could even make a waterproof Alice writing journal, though maybe it should be fireproof.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the singeing wouldn't make sense.
Well, it didn't burn down completely,
I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that the writing journal idea is a good one.
Excellent.
We will consider that.
Yep. Do we have any more art? We had a lot in this folder.
There's
today.
A ton. There's still more. I'm just trying to cycle through to it. I'm pretty sure that we looked at this guy that Omri sent.
We did. We looked at that last time.
Okay. He's got a lot of names. Steve, Rob, Bart, Joe, Bob, Wade, Lewis. We did look at this last time before I left. Okay. I missed his little selfie Alice images. Those are quite funny. So yeah, he also sent along some variations on the queens. Now these were getting done while I was out sailing around, and I know we didn't get a chance to share them. One of the suggestions that Omri made was that we speak to Norman, who had done a lot of the original illustrations that defined the look and feel of many of our favorite characters, the Cheshire Cat, Alice, the Mad Hatter. This was his original rendition for the Queen. But Norm was there at the very start, before there was even a development team. So you could imagine that Norm was essentially like where we are now, doing up all this artwork and getting the design ready. Norm joined on to the original Alice project back in 1997 at around the same time. And so a lot of his illustrations really helped to define the look and feel of the original game. And in Omri's most recent bits of art, he's also suggested that we go and talk to Norm, and I've done that.
Right.
I talked to Norm, and he says he's interested in helping out and doing some illustrations. So he might be the next of the artists that we add to our team.
Excellent stuff.
So Omri did pull a page from the wiki. If you've not seen it, we do have a wiki up and running that is it in these tabs?
Yeah.
There it is. This is where we're collecting together all of the story and design, and our Insane Children are doing a really good job. I just looked yesterday, and they've done a good job of pulling a lot of the content from the Madness Returns design document and pasting that in here and sort of updating it to fit with what's going on in the new game. And so you can find all the artwork and story and everything that we've sort of tried to do so far in the wiki. That's over on AmericanMcGee.com. And yeah, so Omri pulled a bit out of the wiki talking about the story in Asylum, where we're going to have a showdown between the Red Queen and the Queen of Hearts.
People have wanted that, haven't they?
Well, this will be the backstory, the sort of origin story for why we see the different queens in the state they're in the game, in Madness Returns and in the original AMA.
Okay. Bats and Tombstones is back with a super chat.
Yay.
Thank you very much. I collected nutcrackers as a kid, and if you guys have that in the game, I want a replica nutcracker that looks like that. Please and thank you.
There you go. Yeah, I want one of those as well. I think that's a good idea.
It's big sinister teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, I do,
idea.
While we're here, I do want to just give a really quick, solid shout out to the Insane Children. Of course, that is our patrons on Patreon. And then amongst them, there's a group that is on Discord. Do we have a name for our Discord? Is it just like the Asylum?
Call it Wonderland.
Wonderland. Well, so there's the Wonderland Discord, and then within that, there's a group of mods and people who are helping out with the wiki. And I just want to say really quickly, a very big thank you for all of you who are putting all the effort into organizing and collecting the information and making that what it is, because obviously we can't do all that by ourselves. There's quite a bit of effort going into that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Here's more art to throw into there. Speaking of, so yeah, he's taken the Queen of Hearts and the original illustrations from Norm. Do you know who Pete Burns is?
Yes.
Who is Pete Burns?
Pete Burns was the lead guy in some
Nightmares in Wax.
Oh, Dead or Alive.
Dead or
is the
Alive.
one that I remember.
Right.
But yeah, then had a fantastic amount of surgery.
I mean,
and became a sort of a mini reality TV celebrity back in the UK for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is extreme. I didn't really realize the degree. I'd kind of seen the peripheral of this story, but I'd never seen just how far it had gone. And apparently Pete Burns is now dead.
What?
It's right there. The Express says Pete Burns dead.
Well, everyone's
at
dying.
57. Yeah, everybody is dying. But the lead singer from Prodigy died 2 days ago, and then Yen was saying, well, what's Prodigy, and how did he die? And then I did this. I just pulled up a picture, and she goes, oh. It was like, it's the same thing. If you were to say, like, how did this person die? And you pulled up this page, you'd be like, oh, okay, right. There's not much explanation needed. So anyway, the reason I bring up Pete Burns is because Omri has decided to take some inspiration for the face of the Queen from some point in Pete Burns' transformation here.
Was Miranda Richardson the Queen in Blackadder? Or am I thinking something else?
The Queen of Hearts?
Yeah.
I think you... Well, she looks very much like somebody from one of the actual Alice in Wonderland.
Who was Queenie in Blackadder?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to look this up.
Go on then.
It looks like...
Who is it?
I don't know. Are people in the live stream enjoying this, though?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not saying the actress name?
Who played Miranda?
Richardson.
Okay.
No. Anyway, her name is popping up.
Queenie,
I bet it's her.
she was Queenie in the Blackadder Christmas special.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we've the answer to that now.
Oof. Well, that's one of the answers we've got.
Okay. Speaking of answers, I think it's time for another contest.
All right.
We're going to have to think of a spam for the chats. Martin, what's it going to be?
Who is your favorite character in Archer? Because I've been watching a lot of Archer recently.
Archer's very good.
I finished it, actually. I'm waiting for season 10.
So, again, we're going to give away a Pirate Jam notepad and a Lulu embroidered patch. This is a patch. This is a pad. And that's a bunch of autofocus nonsense. So you can win a Pirate Jam notepad. It's waterproof. It's got plastic covers on both sides. This is my personal Pirate Jam notepad.
Jesus Christ, stop focusing.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Or focus right.
Yeah, it's really, we should have just locked the focus. But anyway, that is a notepad, and that is a patch. So you can win that. Lena is the favorite. That one guy with the hair.
Lana,
Spam.
Pam, Archer.
Lulu. Pam.
Have a guess who mine is. Can you guess who my favorite character is?
I quite like Pam also.
I do like Pam.
She's very funny. Is it... I mean, they're all on drugs, so that part of it's kind of funny. I don't know. What do you... Who?
I like Krieger.
Krieger's all right.
Yeah.
They're all very funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mallory, which is Archer's actual name. Very funny. I love that show. Okay, so we are going to roll the dice.
Roll
now,
it.
Lacey won the previous one, but she never responded.
Yeah, maybe she's busy freaking out at winning.
Hey, look at that. Chaussette.
Look at that.
Congratulations, Chaussette. You deserve that for being a supporter, for being who you are. You have won. So you will need to send an email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com. Include your name, your address, your phone number, and be sure to do all that in a format that makes life easy for us. Also mention the fact that you won the notepad and the Lulu patch. And
she knows to do the things.
She knows all the things, I know. I know she knows the things. But we just have to say it all anyway.
We do.
Okay, here we go.
Manda T. Thank you for the super chat. I made emotes based on the plush bun, Alice and Hatter for Discord, if you guys would like them. Love all the hard work.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. I added a bunch of emotes to Discord a couple of weeks ago, but could put some more in. If they're appropriate and awesome, I don't have a problem doing that.
Yep.
Just ask one of the mods over there or to get in touch with me and I'll sort it out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alice on Elm Street suggests, and thank you for the super chat, that we do them as standees. Yes, I know what standees are, and that is a thought as well. I mean, the main point is we've got the art, and there's a couple different ways we could apply the art. We could do it as magnets, we could do it as stickers, we could do it as standees, we could do it as these paper cutout dolls. There's just... Look, Steffi Lynn says, yes, acrylic standees. So,
What's a standee?
oh boy, we'll just have to look that up, won't we? While we're looking that up, you can have a look at the Queen. I am curious to know what everyone thinks of this variation of the Queen of Hearts. If you put aside the Pete, whatever that thing with that face is.
Pete Burns.
Yeah. I wonder what pushes people towards that kind of...
I don't know.
brokenness where they, I mean, you'd think that that guy would just get up in the mornings and feel very depressed that his face had turned into that sort of thing. So this is what acrylic standees look like. Look, there's even a pirate. And it looks like it's a thing that stands up on its own. Maybe this thing slots into this base.
Maybe.
Kind of looks like that. But they've got a little bit of depth to them. Like they've been cut out of acrylic, and then there's a print on one side, right?
Right.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, looks
Kind of
nice.
like that. Well, we'll look into acrylic standees as well. Thank you very much for that suggestion, Alice on Elm Street. You are one of our smartest and bestest of our chat and fans. Always very appreciative of your ideas. Okay, so let's go back to art review.
There was another super chat.
I know.
Oh, it was from Lacey.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
thank you, Lacey, for the super chat.
Emailed the info over for the patch and notepad. Thank you.
So
Excellent.
we do have blood. I'm glad that he's made a point that this is blood. Mask under the mask. That's really messed up. She definitely is. Oh, she's got the orange rabbit plush in a cage.
Oh, no.
That's not very nice. But this is what we have described in the notes so far, is that once Alice meets with the Queen of Hearts, she kidnaps the rabbit and holds him ransom until Alice goes and does her bidding with regards to the Red Queen, who she views as her mortal enemy. So that's one variation on the Queen of Hearts. This is another. Now, this, of course, is heavily influenced by, or basically a direct redoing of Norm's original Queen of Hearts illustration. I think between the two, I prefer this one. What do you think?
I think you're right. The other one's nice and all, but yeah, I think I'm feeling this one a bit more.
Yeah. So this is the classic Queen. That's Norm's version. Now this is more of like the Queen we saw in the notepad, or in Alice's book, case book, and of course in the game we did this sort of multi-faced masked version on the throne. So I think we're going to have to figure out, though, all of us, how to fit all this together. You know, the fact that this Queen is mechanical, it might be that what we see when we go to see the the Queen of Hearts in Asylum is this sort of mechanical effigy, this moving marionette. But that behind the scenes is something more akin to this thing, which by the time Alice encounters this in AMA has morphed into the thing that we know there, which is more of the kind of tentacly multi-mask thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might work.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we should put a pin in that concept, because it's clear that the Pete Burns faced one, being obsessed with its looks, and it wouldn't be too far-fetched to imagine that it's trying to project an image via this mechanical thing that's closer to where it wishes it was, when in fact it's this sort of wispy, broken, disfigured thing.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll explore that idea a little bit more in the story and see where we end up. Omri did also send along. This was sort of the earlier version of the work. So he was playing around with different ideas. I like this monster twisted short version.
What's that? Hatters. What? Can't see what that says.
I'm not sure where you're looking.
Next to Eat Me.
Eat Me. Oh, Hatter's thing. Hatter's. I'm not sure. This might be that reference to the fact that Alice is sent to the Hatter to retrieve the thing, which the Queen of Hearts is then going to use to try to defeat the Red Queen. Right. So because that's what's going on in the story, is when Alice finally makes her way to this domain, she's accosted by the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts kidnaps the White Rabbit and then ransoms or blackmails Alice into going and doing her bidding, which is to find the Mad Hatter and get from him the thing which will destroy the Red Queen. And so that's going to be a big part of sort of the narrative arc of Alice's journey in the new game.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sounding amazing already.
Yeah, well, the most amazing thing is all this beautiful artwork that's coming out of
Just
this.
keeps coming.
So this is, of course, the Red Queen. Now, in Madness Returns, if you remember, we do approach the front of the castle, and we find that the Red King is dead in front of the castle in one of the doors there at the start. So let me see if I can find that really quick, because it was a pretty dramatic scene, and I think what we want to try to do is link into. Here we go. We want to try to link into that bit of the story. So if you look here.
Oh, yes.
So this is the Red Queen's castle, and the king is here trapped in the door. And so he's been kind of made part of the architecture. And this is one of those art prints that we have up on Mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah, still have a few of those on hand, but we're almost running out of those. But yeah, so this was how we represented the Red Queen's castle in Madness Returns. And I think when we're dealing with the journey back to this in Asylum, we're going to want to be sort of aware of the story and how it was set up here, and then how we might sort of resolve it in Asylum so it dovetails cleanly into what we're doing in the later games. But I'm a big fan of this area, this zone, because again, we represented this. There's the Red King in the original game, and I was a big fan of these chess areas.
They were good.
Beautiful.
But yeah, having to kind of adds another layer of, I don't know if difficulty is the right word. You kind of constrained somewhat because it has to feed in to the original Alice. You can't just go wild with designs and stuff.
Well, you'd like to, but then I see people who they get bent out of shape really quickly when
bent, governor.
When you do what is it referred to? Retconning? When you rewrite the history of the story in order to make the new one work. Yeah, so we're going to try to avoid that. But when we're going through all of these things and we're trying to explore how we're going to write the story, maybe don't get like super angry when we suggest things that may not work or fit. You could just write and say, hey, that sort of might break things, instead of, how dare you break things? I'm never going to buy one of your games again.
I think we're fine. People generally don't get angry and shout on the internet.
No, never. I never see people shouting. No, never. Okay, so.
Truth Decay. Thank you for the super chat. I like the King of Hearts just being a severed head on the side of her throne. Was that in one of the pictures? Or
yeah, that was on that was in one of the previous pictures here. You can see here. So there's the head of the King of Hearts.
Right.
I like that too, but again, it raises the question of, if he's had his head severed here, what does that say about him being, as we saw just now in this shot from the original game? How is he back to life again here? So,
yeah, wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, really. You'd have to come up with a story. I mean, she might have murdered him and then somehow they reset the board, for all we know. But are we going to accept that? Are the fans going to accept that? Are we going to get a bunch of death threats on the internet for, how dare you do that? I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you, Liam. Your child's name is Liam Neeson. Maybe if I name the kid Liam, then people will leave me alone.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Let's see. Okay.
What are people saying? Yeah, just stuff and things.
Okay.
Still enjoying fleshticles.
I mean, that might be our best-selling product to date.
It might be.
You never know. So, yeah, these variations on the Red Queen, the chess pieces for the Queen and King, I'm a big fan of this. I think they're beautiful. Not sure why she's holding a heart in her. Oh, those are just her hands. Sorry, I misinterpreted that. But he's got big bulgy pants. Maybe he's got one of those fleshticles tucked away in there somewhere.
He could have.
Yeah, so he's taken inspiration from the original illustrations and from this woman who's got a giant doily around her neck. And yeah, I think what he's come up with here fits. Let us know in the chat or in the comments. What do you think?
Here's a good comment from Domino site. What if his head is severed but still alive on the side of the throne?
Can do.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Yeah, we could do something like that. That's kind of notes that we need to put into the wiki. So if you have access to the wiki and you can go over there and write comments along those lines, that would be...
Everybody can comment.
That would be very good. So please do that. Yeah. All right.
What's next?
I like regular legs, says Omri. Baby legs.
Baby
says
legs.
Not baby legs. But I like regular legs.
Oh, dear.
She has represented them as being quite small.
Yeah.
Which, again, if we go to look at how the king is shown, Omri, take note, because the way we showed the king in Madness Returns is that he's quite a bit bigger than Alice. Of course, that doesn't necessarily line up with how he's represented in AMA. I think that these little chess pieces are actually smaller than Alice, and this guy would have been about the same size as her. So I don't know. Maybe we don't need to be too sort of religious.
Things frequently change size in Wonderland.
They do. This is very true.
Alice on Elm Street is back again. Thank you for the super chat. Maybe towards the end of Alice Asylum, the Red King and Queen get transformed to look more like the chess pieces in AMA.
There you go. Could do.
Somebody transforms them, or they transform themselves for some reason.
Yeah, well, like Martin said, one of the things is, remember, they don't have to transform because Alice is constantly transforming. So her perspective on all this stuff, changes constantly. So things can appear to be bigger or smaller to her. I got this image from Omri. Now, Omri, I know you're listening to this, and before you dash off an angry email, I know you said to download the high-res version of this from the Google Drive, and I didn't do that. So my apologies, and we're going to look at this anyway. the low-res version of this. So one of the things that Omri has suggested, and we did float this a while back to the fans on Patreon, was the idea that she carry a single weapon, one blade to rule them all, and that weapon would be the Vorpal Blade, and then it would then transform into different kinds of weapons, these shards and whatnot. What the hell's going on there? What's wrong with you? This was also an idea from Alex Crowley, and I know he had done up a couple versions of this sort of transforming weapon, the single Vorpal Blade that could turn into lots of different weapons. What was your feedback on this?
People, I think they enjoyed the idea, but people were much more enjoyable of having toys as weapons. That seems to be the thing for Alice. This seems almost too modern, I think. Almost too modern a concept, in gameplay terms anyway.
Yeah.
I think most people said they would prefer toys as weapons.
Right.
Jack-in-the-box, playing cards, spinning top, etc.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just think that the toys as weapons are more visually compelling. I'd like to go pick up a Jack-in-the-Box. I'd like to throw a Jack-in-the-Box out and have it do its little ding, 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 and blow up. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of art we can contain in that. Not to say that a transforming Vorpal Blade that becomes anything you want it to become couldn't transform into, say, like a fully realized Jack-in-the-Box or whatever. Of course, the way these have been rendered, they still maintain some degree of their shardiness. There's still a shard sort of aspect to this gun, and it's firing things, and she's got a bottle full of blood there. So I think this is not a bad idea for a weapon. I just don't know that thematically it's as compelling as the actual toys as weapons. And so, well, we'll continue to explore this. This will end up in the wiki, and then we can kind of discuss it during one of our weekly crowd design sessions.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Some super chats came in. Steffi Lynn, thank you for that. Acrylic keychains, rubber keychains, blacklight posters would be sweet for merch. I could honestly go on and on. People still do blacklight posters. That's still a thing.
But we do a lot of posters. You grab that. I mean, this month we've got to send out, like, was it 800 of these things? I don't know. It was a crazy number of these posters. This was the Asylum Mushroom Head. We were referring to this one as Mushroom Head. And, of course, you guys voted, and I think someone cheated and distorted the polling, but you voted for no swirls. And so that is the no swirls version of the Mushroom Head poster. I have signed all of them now. Ugh. And we've tubed up all of them, save for about 100 or so, which we're going to finish off today.
Yeah, getting through that backlog.
My point is that, man, you guys like art. There's a lot of art going out. And so that's good. I mean, we like doing art. I don't know if I like signing all that art, but whatever. There you go.
Another super chat. Tom Resnick, thank you for that. Anyone who complains about retconning, size changes, voice changes, just remind them this is Wonderland, and that is a blanket excuse that covers any and all discrepancies.
I get where you're coming from, but I think we all agree that if you did that, people would be displeased.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason, you're right. It makes sense in Wonderland. But then people also have their expectation in this real world from the game. So, yeah, I don't think this is one you can just logic out.
I think, look, whether or not you have a rational or seemingly rational in the context of the universe. So let's say that in the context of the Star Trek universe, there's the idea of wormholes and temporal shifts that, from time to time can happen in some of these episodes. But if, every 5 episodes you found that they somehow ran into a temporal shift or a wormhole and everything just flipped upside down, you would get tired of that because you want continuity. You, even in a world of unexpected things happening, you still prefer to have there be knowledge of the past and of the characters, and that knowledge is valuable and worthwhile for you to store and maintain as you move through the story.
Yeah.
If every couple chapters you just whacked out, you started the whole thing all over again, or you retconned it, it becomes a bit annoying. Well, why was I so into this if you were just gonna push a button and delete the whole thing? Yeah. So,
Hannah Michelle, thank you for the super chat. Maybe each level or chapter have different weapons you need to have.
Yeah, I like this. I like the idea of training the player up on particular weapons, especially in the early chapters of the game. We go through different zones and you're acquiring different weapons, and then we have areas that are specifically built around the training and playing with that weapon, and then you're given a chance to sort of unleash that at will in the environment. And so I think early in the game, for sure, we will probably have that kind of progression where there's areas or chapters where you need a weapon, and then of course you might be able to travel back and apply that weapon to some stuff that you passed, but you couldn't use it because you couldn't get past it because you didn't have that correct weapon yet.
Classic gameplay.
Exactly.
Ice Killer is back. Woo! Thank you for the chat. Didn't Alex do a transforming Vorpal blade before?
Yep. That's what I mentioned that, and that's why I was pointing out in the artwork there that what Omri's doing is a riff on what Alex did, and so yes, that was done before.
Yeah. And Jennifer King, thank you for the super chat. Would all of the weapons have this transformative capability? Would it come in the form of upgrades? Well, if they were toys, they wouldn't transform. It would
probably not.
Yeah, but if it was just one weapon that did transform, upgrades make sense.
Right.
But yeah, that's still a maybe. That's up in the air. I'm still in camp toys.
Yeah, I'm still
That's where I am.
Exactly. I still think that we're going to go for toys as weapons. So sorry, Omri and Alex. I feel like you're losing this particular tug of war.
Ashley H is back. Thank you for the chat. Have you heard of the game Contrast? They use the concept of shadow really well. For your moon area, a variation on this could be super neat. I think I know Contrast. I think I've seen screenshots.
It doesn't sound familiar. I'm going to have to look that up.
But yeah, I think it's like it casts shadows on the wall or something, and then that enables you to like use the shadows to climb.
Yeah.
Something.
All right. Well, we'll have to
else.
have a look at Contrast. But before we do that, let's do a shout out to our sponsors. Speaking of the debate around retconning and alternate universes and narrative progressions, and if you like this kind of discussion, this kind of fandom exploring why and how especially freaky things, art and film and music work, or sometimes don't work, then you should check out our friends over at Freaky Fandoms. They do a podcast, usually on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And they've just passed their 100th episode.
Yep. Is this their 100th?
Well, it says it right there.
It is. It's our 100th episode. It's right there.
And so they have a special guest, Bradley Cornish, on. And what they're talking about is a topic that I find very interesting. And that is something called kinder trauma. Do you know what kinder trauma is, Martin?
I do. It's movies or TV. Is it just specific to them that traumatized you as a child?
I suppose it could be an uncle, a creepy uncle.
No, I mean books, music.
Right.
Because I also have some examples of that. But yeah, they specifically said movies and TV.
I do believe that they're focused on movies that traumatized us growing up. Now, do you have a movie that traumatized you growing up?
Considering that I'm actually a big fan these days of sort of like end of the world zombie apocalypse type stories, I was terrified out of my pants of the undead when I was younger. So it took me a long time to pluck up the courage to even watch Michael Jackson's Thriller video and the original Day of the Dead,
the Romero film.
That was the bunker one.
George Romero's film, yeah.
That was just so grim and depressing and terrifying. Zombie stuff used to freak me the hell out.
Yeah, well, what got me was as a child, I had been taken to the movie theater, and this would have been like 1982 or 83, so I was like 10 years old, and I think they were playing, I don't know if it was E.T. or Close Encounters, but it was some family-friendly, hey, yeah, let's take the kid to see that and leave him in the theater movie. And I decided to sneak out of this G or PG-rated movie and go into this room where it was showing something called John Carpenter's The Thing. And, the movie starts off just pretty dry and cold, and you don't realize where it's all going until, like, at one point, there's just a dog that explodes with tentacles everywhere. And I remember...
Fleshticles.
That was my first time being traumatized by fleshticles, and they came out of a dog. And Kurt Russell, God, it's such a good... Anyway, it traumatized the shit out of me. And I remember being so scared that I almost peed in my pants, and I couldn't... I couldn't get out of the chair because it was dark in the room. And I was afraid to leave my chair, but I also did not want to be in that room anymore. And it took me quite a while to finally get the courage to run out of there and not pee in my pants. I don't think I peed in my pants. I hope I didn't. Maybe I did a little bit. I might have peed a little bit.
Thinking about this topic, it reminded me, actually, Charlie Brooker did a section on something like this. And probably a lot of people out there don't know of this. We had a TV show back in England long time ago called Jigsaw. And they had a character in that called Mr. Nosy Bonk.
Yep.
And I'd forgotten all about him until Charlie Brooker mentioned this guy.
Wow.
And Jesus Christ, I can't believe this was a children's character.
He was pretty Pretty scary, huh?
I mean, look at it.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
And he was just supposed to be some sort of like Mr. Bean-esque, laughable character. But I mean, look at him go.
Yeah, that's not good at all. That's absolutely drugs right there. Very much drugs. I like this Nosy Bonk approves. Well,
dear.
So if you're into this kind of thing, if you like your nosy bonks, and if you were traumatized and otherwise destroyed as a child by some horrible, scary thing, and also if you want to support us by helping to support our wonderful sponsors, then please head over to Freaky Fandoms. They are on SoundCloud. They are on, I think, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Of course, they have a Patreon. All the links are in the description below. And so please go and check them out and maybe share with them what traumatized you. What was your Mr. Nosy Bonk?
I don't really remember anything from TV, really. I can't remember anything. Yeah. But sorry for the delay on this. Alice on Elm Street super chatted us. Thank you very much. What about a toy shop she can visit to upgrade her weapons?
I think that is a brilliant idea, Alice on Elm Street. And I think many people in the chat here, after you suggested that, also think that is a brilliant idea. Maybe we could have Mr. Nosy Bonk as the shopkeeper in the toy shop.
Don't do it.
But this is a really good one, Alice. So if you guys could please make sure you drop that into the wiki, because it fits quite well. I'd like the idea. And maybe it's a toy shop that can kind of manifest, TARDIS style wherever it needs to be. And then you can walk in and take care of your toy upgrades. I think that's a really good one. Who would be running the toy shop?
The Fog.
Fog.
That scared me.
I always thought that was kind of the
Mask.
Yeah. I hated the movie Tusk. Okay. Well, there you go. So yeah, I think
lots of chat. Lots of comments there about that.
Suspiria got me later on in life. If you've never seen the original Suspiria and you want to be bothered by a movie, I would recommend watching that.
All right.
Okay, so I think we've actually got through all of the original artwork that was done and sent to us. So that's good. There is a bit of art in this folder you guys have seen before, but we were going to bring up because this is... How does it work? Which one is this?
This is the next print. So technically, this is for March patrons, but that is a confusing term because it's the payment you give us in April that means you will get this.
I'm so confused. I mean, we do this on a regular basis, and I still don't understand it. Do you mean that people could still get this print if they go and...
They can.
Okay, because when you described this to me before, I did not understand that. So this is still a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So for the people that join us now at the $75 tier, or indeed people who get their third 3x35 tier...
Could get this.
Could get this.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, the short and simple of it is you still have a chance to get this by being a patron, either at the 3x35, not 3x35, but the 3x35, whatever, or at the higher tier, and this thing will be printed like that giant, the giant art print. Yeah, just to. They're done on a really thick kind of plasticky. I don't know how to describe that, but they're really high quality. Massive. Look, you can hide Martin behind it. It'll be done up like that, and yet it'll be this image for this month. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, good.
That is the next image.
Someone just noticed the torn pillow. Yes, that pillow is torn in the shape of the chaos symbol.
And if you go in even further, which you can't see on this low quality image, but she does have the burning house in her eyeballs.
She does. I love this image. And there's the rabbit.
Yeah.
Yay,
and
rabbit.
there are fleshticles under her covers.
Speaking of the rabbit, that's going to be our last prize for today. But right now we are going to give away one more.
A notebook Lulu patch combo.
The notebook Lulu patch combo. So in the chat, please spam up what your kinder trauma movie was. What was it that broke your brain as a child when you went and snuck into it when mom and dad dropped you off to see The Little Mermaid and you went and watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead and were forever scarred? Anyway, do spam up the chat and you will get a Lulu embroidered patch and a Pirate Jam notepad. And then the last prize for today, which we'll give away in about 25 minutes, is the White Rabbit plush. Martin is pulling one out of there. Drop that on the table there, Martin. There you go. There's a White Rabbit plush. Those are starting to arrive with people around the world now.
Are they arriving already?
I thought somebody wrote and said that.
I don't know.
Really?
That would surprise me.
No, we had somebody in China who got one.
Oh,
and
right,
she said she really liked it.
Less surprising.
Yeah.
We did have some super chat.
I know. Random. I like, in Madness Returns, having to enter the shells as a puzzle. Riddle boss fight to gain Rose's health. Maybe having a Jack-in-the-Box or toy that Alice had. Yeah, I like this too, Hannah Michelle. And thank you for the $10 super chat. We also like you. But her point is having the ability to enter into combat arenas for the sake of upgrades and health. Nope. And yes, we very much want to do this in the new game. So there you go.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Lucas Severin with $5 says, maybe the doll maker could be running the toy shop. Ooh. But at this age, Alice doesn't realize who or what he is yet. That's a creepy idea. That's a really creepy idea.
Good one, though.
Huh. That is a good one. Would we, I mean, you'd go in there and your first instinct would be to shoot him in the face. But that's pretty effed up. I kind of like that, Lucas. Yeah, the doll maker. Because, of course, he makes sense as a doll maker, a toy maker. I think you might be onto something there.
Maybe. Maybe.
So we've got movies here that screwed people up. The Ring.
Slugs. Signs.
Life.
Really? Life? Kind of creepy.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
The Dark Crystal.
What was the dumb Nightmare on Elm Street from Rick and Morty?
Scary Terry.
Yeah, Scary Terry. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Team America screwed you up? What are you talking about? That's a hilarious movie.
Maybe it was the sex scene.
Alien? It froze, says somebody. It's broken. No, not now.
No, I can see it. It's all red.
Yeah, it went to complete zero. And now it's coming back.
Another Dark Crystal.
Yep. Yay, buffering. We broke the live stream.
It was doing really well for a while as well.
It was.
The dropped frames went down.
This doesn't look good, though.
Substantially.
This looks very sad. Who's traumatized by Forrest Gump? That doesn't really make any sense. It's really suffering there, Martin.
It really is.
Refresh doesn't work. The Shining. Quit commenting. I don't think that has anything to do with it. The Witch. I feel like we can stop spamming.
I got bored with The Witch. Did you watch it?
I don't know, but I'm really concerned that we might have killed the stream here.
Well, it's
trying.
It's not super dead. So, I mean, we can
dab, make it return. Go on, Martin. Dab.
No. I will never dab unless I'm wearing a Cheeto at Rabbit.
All right. Well, it looks like it's sort of come back a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it.
Go on, then.
Here we go. Oh, Alice on Elm Street. You won a notepad and a Lulu embroidered patch. There it is. They're back. And look, Nightbot just in time says Alice on Elm Street won the giveaway. So
Nightbot is loving our regulars today.
There you go. So congratulations, Alice on Elm Street. You deserve that for being so smart and wonderful.
Was Killer Clowns from Outer Space that bad? I remember watching it, and it's not stuck in my head for any reason.
I don't remember it at all. So, Alice, you did win the notepad and the Lulu patch, and you know the drill. You need to email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com, include your name, your address, your phone number, and the fact that you won, and do all that in a format that doesn't piss me off, and then maybe we'll send a prize to you.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. You'd be surprised the way that some people think it's acceptable to share their address with us, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not acceptable.
You know what else is surprising? I was going to mention this when we were talking about the posters and what you can get. That sometimes we get messages who don't understand the 3 for $35 thing.
I know.
They'll say, so do I get 3 posters if I give you $35? It's like, no, you don't. It's the other way around. So I know maybe we need to take another look at that text. I'm not sure.
We should probably take a look. But yes, Alice on Elm Street did win, and it looks like the VPN is trying to fall down again. So we better get through all this stuff really quickly.
Go.
There was a few other little bits of stuff that we were looking at today. One of them was going to be the presentation that we've put together for, where did I put it? For the new studio. There we go. So, as many of you know, we are working on pitching not only a new game, but we're going to be building up a new studio. And that studio, we hope, will be in Thailand. Now, I did mention this when I shared this image over on Patreon the other day, but I want to be very clear. Yes, this says Amazon on it. No, that does not mean that 100% Amazon is going to be in any way involved with this project. We are making this pitch to a number of publishers, financiers, game companies. So we currently have a list of people who we are talking to about the funding for the publishing of the new game. So I just want to make abundantly clear, this is a pitch that we're making to Amazon. Now, we are talking with Amazon. We would love to work with Amazon, but we'd also love to work with several of the other people that we're talking to. And so, yeah, this is just to give you a sense of what the pitch looks like when we put it in front of someone. Is that clear, Martin?
It's very clear, but I'm sure we're still going to get some people who didn't hear a word you said.
Well, there's going to be a news article tomorrow in Kotaku. American McGee is a Nazi and he's working with Amazon. This is going to be the headline.
Is it? I'll keep an eye out for that.
Pretty sure, yeah. So anyway, this is the first page. Now, you'll see a couple things going on here. First of all, the name. We do have this kind of, I think this is a temporary name because I don't really like this as the name of a company.
It's all right, but I'm not feeling it. It doesn't stick with me.
I don't know. And I feel like Ashen doesn't really roll off the tongue. What does everybody else think? Do you guys like...
I saw some people, I even probably put those in the questions sheets. Some people seem to like it.
Right.
I don't know if it's many or most or...
Here's one of the challenges, and one of the reasons why we would come up with a name that is as unusual or weird as, say, Spicy Horse or Ashen Rabbit is... When it comes time to name a company, you have two things you have to approach. One is the company name available in the register of company names, right? Like, it was one of the things I was very surprised about when I named Mysterious. Mysterious is that I went to the Delaware registration site for a corporation and I was punching in different names and everything was coming back as nope. And then I punched in Mysterious and it was like, yep, you can have that. And I thought, what the hell? Why isn't Mysterious Inc. a thing? I mean, anyway, I jumped on it. So you find that when it comes to names of companies, and then even worse than that, domain names, it's very hard to find domain names that are in the open, right? That haven't been sat on already. But if you were to go and, like, now somebody will do this. I think Ashen Rabbit, we have not grabbed it yet, but now as soon as this stream is over, somebody out there, will go and squat on it. So that's one of the reasons why we come up with these funny names like Spicy Horse and Ashen Rabbit and whatever. So
I saw a message from Hannah Michelle saying that due to the buffering, she didn't get her super chat answered.
Oh, no. What was it?
We'll have to scroll and have a look. But we did say it. I seem to remember that.
That's strange.
Scrolling.
Well, we've run out of...
Oh, geez, Rick.
Yeah, it's run off the screen. So, Hannah Michelle, you're going to have to just write it in normal text.
Remind us.
And remind us, please.
Yeah, maybe if you see the stream afterwards, it'll be there, but who knows?
Right.
Anyway, we'll keep an eye out for your comment.
Okay.
As we talk more about this PDF.
Okay. So one of the things that we are proposing, and this is why like working with a company like Amazon would be really amazing, is because we want to do games, obviously. We also want to do physical goods, which we're doing a lot of these days. and we want to do film and animation. Now, guess what? Amazon obviously has defined themselves as an excellent purveyor of and distributor of physical merchandise. So working with them on a project that contains all the kinds of fun physical goodies that we plan to make would be perfect. They are pouring tons of money into games these days, which is one of the reasons that we're talking to them. And I have several friends that are working there, which makes the conversations, the friction is a lot less than would be in talking to other companies. And last but not least, Amazon is also trying to position themselves to become a film and animation powerhouse, aka they would like to squish Netflix. So that means that we align quite well with what they're doing. And the Alice property in itself aligns quite well. Whenever we go to talk to companies that are trying to be these sort of multimedia or cross-media companies, then that works out quite well because Alice lends itself very well to game, film and television, and merchandise. How'd you like that for the elevator pitch?
It was great. I was kind of half listening to that and half keeping an eye out for Hannah's comment.
Right. I think, by the way, that this is absolutely gorgeous. Like just the presentation, the color scheme, the logo, which Alex had done up. Now, guess, who's done this? This is Alex. Now, it's a little bit surprising because usually Alex really likes to like over complicate things.
He does.
But this time he's done a really good job of a very clean and coherent first pass, and I'm very proud of you, Alex.
It's great. I mean, I would give you money after seeing this pitch.
I mean, yeah, I wrote a check to myself right away. But it's turned out really nice. So kudos, Alex. Even just the first page, I'm ready to give us money. So there you go.
I think Lucas also says that his super chat went missing. What's his bloody name?
Bumby?
No. Carpenter.
Carpenter?
Running the toy shop.
Okay, the carpenter running the toy shop instead of Bumby running the toy shop.
That's what he said, isn't it? That's what we were talking about.
No, he said that Bumby was running the toy shop.
Don't think so.
Okay, well, anyway, I like the idea of Bumby running the toy shop. The idea of the carpenter running the toy shop. Okay, that doesn't sound...
We did. Oh, those super chats, we actually said quite a lot about them.
We said a lot about them, and I think you will be able to see that if you go back and play the video after the stream is no longer live. Because usually what happens is it buffers and installs for you guys, but once it goes and gets recorded to YouTube, all that's recovered because I think OBS does a good job of buffering the buffer or whatever. So there you go. Yeah. So back to, are we done with that? Is everybody happy in the super chat world over there?
I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay,
Seems
great.
Okay for now.
So, yeah, I mean, the pitch here, and it's kind of funny for me because this is not the first time that I've ever pitched or been involved with. We used to call this transmedia back in the .com days. And so I'm dating myself, but I don't care because, yeah, I'm old. And we used to call the idea that you did, film and game and television and toys and whatnot, that was called transmedia. And everybody was into transmedia for a while there. And it seems like we're kind of back there again. Yeah. So this is the overall concept of an integrated IP production studio. Now, what we mean by that is that the studio would not be as large as Spicy Horse because Spicy Horse was a giant, actual, full-blown development studio. But I feel that the way that the world is moving is we're going to be much more reliant on outsourcing in order to keep our internal headcount lower, and that also provides better flexibility for us to pivot and move and not have the kind of cost burden that comes with a giant 200, 300 person studio. So I think our vision for this is that the new studio is really about design and not so much about the actual full-scale production. So this would be the place from where the story, the game design, the merchandise design, and all these things would flow out to teams of people in Thailand and across Asia where the actual asset production was being done or where the actual putting together of the pieces of the game would be done. So that's sort of the overview that we're providing here.
I'm just waiting for the next slide. I really like the next slide because I like facts and figures and charts and infographics.
Right. Well, again, it's funny because this is a a slide that I've seen in the past, but I remember that, you know, in the past, the global total for games was nowhere in the hundreds of billions. It was like we might have been celebrating, you know, 20 years ago that we had passed sort of the $5 billion mark or something like that. But, you know, this is another point that's made, and I've talked to, you know, Alex, and I've talked to others about. It's probably very likely that we're heading into an economic recession, a global downturn, a depression of some sort economically, and we're seeing signs of that here in China now. There are massive layoffs. There are runs on the banks. There are now reversals in the values of the property, which, you know, something like 80% of Chinese investment in terms of household or consumer investment doesn't go into, say, like in the US, we put a lot of money in the stock market. Here in China, they put it all into housing. So when house prices start to come back down, that is almost as if their stock market is crashing. And this is something they're trying desperately to keep out of the news these days, but there is a pretty drastic downturn in both property sales, and then also we're seeing the loss of property value into the double digits of percentages now. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But one of the points, and sorry for rambling on about that, but one of the points that's made here is that the beginning of a downturn, and even if it's a long-term downturn, is not a bad time to invest into entertainment, because during a depression, people tend to play more games and watch more movies. And also, if you invest in a piece of entertainment at the start of a downturn, you then have that product ready for launch at the beginning of the end of the recession, and that's a good place to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom Resnick, Super Chats. I currently work for a software company with much the same modus operandi. We design and spec, then outsource the build. Hint, hint, hire me.
Cool. Well, Tom, you know how to get in touch via email, and we are going to need to hire people for the new studio. So please do reach out.
Please do.
Nothing wrong with that.
But, yeah, look at that. Red Dead Redemption 2. What sales in millions of units?
14 million units.
14 million units,
well,
at like $60 a pop, probably.
It did, what was it, $700 million in the first weekend.
Wow.
So it beat out even the largest film launch in a weekend, I believe, maybe ever.
It's a big number, isn't it?
It's a very big number.
Me.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, the guys we're pitching to, say it's Amazon or say it's Microsoft, they know all this stuff. It's not really necessary to break this down for them, but I think that it gives them a sense of our awareness, and it's, you know, good kind of pitch for, I don't know. I think who knows? I honestly, I think a lot of this stuff is just silly. I can't remember who I was talking to or what I was watching, but it was, I know what it was. It was a friend of mine who had pitched to open a shipbuilding factory in China. And they told him, yeah, come back with a presentation. And he was like, why? You know this is a good business. Just say yes or say no. And they said, sorry, we're going to have a presentation for the board to vote on. So he said he went back in with 2 pieces of paper, and on one piece of paper was like plus 10%, and the other or plus 20%, and the other piece of paper was minus 20%. And he said, choose one. The idea being, if you choose to do the thing I'm saying, we'll see our profits go up by plus 20%. And if you choose not to do the thing I'm saying, we'll see our profits decline by 20%. And in fact, the thing that he proposed and they ended up doing increased their profits like times 200.
Wow.
Because they caught the first edge of the wave of China in the 90s becoming the world's factory. And they were the ones building the ships that delivered the output of the factory to the world.
Right.
So they made a lot of money.
Ballsy move, though.
I loved that, though. And I think, actually, I wish that we could do a similar thing with a pitch like this. Hey, do you want it or not? It's going to be great or F off, you know.
Super chat went past from Lucas. Depression is also when the sin industry booms.
This is true. This is very true. Drugs
on
and alcohol and fleshticles. This is why we want to get the fleshticles into the market, Maybe we should set up a sort of private IPO. You know, everyone can invest who's our insane children. They can invest and they can purchase shares, and we'll just build a warehouse full of fleshticles, and we'll all get rich when the depression comes.
Maybe.
That sounds like a great idea.
Worth a try.
All right. We are coming up on the end of the hour, and I think we're going to go ahead and do our last giveaway. Do we need to announce anything else before that happens?
We're going to do questions.
I forgot. There was all those questions.
Oh, just having a stretch. Ignore me.
I was just worried about the quality of our VPN connection. And I was thinking...
It does seem to be wobbling a bit towards the end of the stream.
All right. Why don't we'll try to go through these really quick, and then we'll do the giveaway.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
What about naming the studio Chaotic Rabbit, says Ice Killer.
I like that, Ice Killer. That's cute. Chaotic Rabbit or Chaos Rabbit.
But anything we say now, we're just going to go and squat on.
Crispy Rabbit, says Steffi Lynn. That's funny. Yeah, I think maybe we skip all these questions just because the lag is so bad. What do you think?
Should we tell people not to super chat?
Why don't you guys let us know? Should we go through all of these questions from Patreon, or should we just do the prize and end it because of the lag? You need to let us know in the chat.
It's going to be like a couple of minutes before we hear the answer to this.
Motorcycle Girl says it's been an hour. No, it's been 2 hours. We're coming up on 2 hours, and my voice is starting to get destroyed.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things here we can just do. Do you want to read some of those? Because I'm starting to die.
What do we got? This was from the latest Patreon post. Says, can't wait. What was this for? What was the latest post? Can't wait for something anyway, but saying Ashen Rabbit is an awesome name. I think she couldn't
wait for the YouTube live stream, which we're doing now. So here you are.
Yay.
Yeah.
Courtney Hill loves the knight. I guess that was the Fleshticle knight. Its design is beautifully done and likes the idea of using the environment to defeat it. Yep, talked about that. It's good to have an enemy you need to think about rather than just shooting and stabbing.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley... something with cinders in the name would be neat.
I think we're getting a bunch of people in the chat saying let's call it because of the lag.
All right.
So why don't we do that?
Go on then.
You ask and we do.
We are your humble servants.
As the Chinese would say. So we're going to give away a White Rabbit plush. Martin, show the people what they're going to win.
That.
It comes with a bag too. And so what you need to do is you need to spam up the chat. Why don't you just spam up the chat with lag? Just the word lag. Just for how much you love lag. And then we will give away a White Rabbit plush and the bag that it comes in. So we're just waiting for you guys to...
And the amount of A's you put in the word lag will show us how much you love it.
Lag. Go for it. Do the lag. Speaking of lag, here's a bag. This was a Pirate Jam. This is the Pirate Jam waterproof bag.
Is there a flag in the bag?
We did make a flag, but it's not in the bag.
Okay.
But they do still have lag. These turned out really nice. Last year we did them in black with a white logo on them. This year we've done them in yellow with a black. And this is partly inspired by the fact that last year we almost killed some people who got lost in the darkness in the middle of a storm. And I was thinking that if they... It's funny, but it's true. If they had had bright yellow bags, we might have been able to see them a little further out.
That's true.
Yeah, but anyways.
Good design choice.
This is for safety. But yeah, this is Alex's logo of the tentacly octopus.
All of those fleshticles.
Turned out really nice. Yeah, lots of fleshticles going on. But I'm really happy with that. There was something else that got done. Oh yeah, so Jennifer did up. This is the White Rabbit plush. Speaking of the prize we're about to give away, this is the little bunny, and he's been done up as a pirate. And she pointed out, and rightly so, that he's perfect for a pirate because he's already missing one eye.
Yeah. It's so obvious.
So if you did want to show your love of the little white bunny rabbit plush thing, or of Pirate Jam, or of both. You could go over to Mysterious and get yourself a rabbit plush pirate t-shirt.
It comes in pink as well.
There you go. I think we've done enough of the...
All right. Who is the lucky plushy person?
I feel like they're just now catching up to the fact that they've got to type in this. There is a lot of lag.
There is.
Alrighty. Here we go. We're going to roll it. Ice Killer.
What?
Wow.
Ice Killer can't have one.
Why not?
Let's roll it again.
What's wrong with Ice Killer? All right. Ice Killer, you won the giveaway for today. I think you deserve that because you've been around for such a long time and been so supportive and wonderful and full of love and sugar and cinnamon and spice and everything nice. So that does bring us to the end of today's live stream. If you've survived the lag, thank you very much. It shows...
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, it shows how dedicated and wonderful you are. If it is your first time coming to one of these live streams, do be aware that over at AmericanMcGee.com, there is a list of things you can do to help support the creation of the new Alice game. It's all listed out here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, in a very simple list. There's a mailing list. Sign up for that. Don't put your dead grandma's email in there. We need actual people who are actual fans of Alice. You can follow me on all the social media sites. I think Martin's over on Grindr if you want to follow him. You can support us on Patreon. Patreon is a place where we got to fix this. That's got to be updated. It's where we make fun physical things and give away Lulu patches, and there's all kinds of art and whatnot. And also you get to be an insane child and get access to our Discord server, all that. And then finally, last but not least, there is a shop called Mysterious. That's where you could buy, like for instance,
many things.
You could buy that Ahoy little rabbit
out of
t-shirt.
The woods stuff, prints, books, exactly. Greg's junk.
So go do the thing. And if you enjoyed today's stream and you absolutely hate lag, then smash like, because lag doesn't like it when you smash like.
Does it not?
It doesn't. All right, everybody. Much love to you all. We will try to repair our internet connection and be back to you early next week with a crowd design session and then another live stream. So
yeah. See you later.
Have a good one.